G'day punters, welcome to a huge episode of All In. We'll be previewing day 2 of the championships this evening, and we are without our captain, young Lewis Willoughby. He's headed off to lend Trent Robinson a hand at Roosters training after another victory. He's gone to take all the credit. Dean Watling, how are you?
Good, mate. I heard he's down at Bondi Icebergs helping with the cleanup there, his favourite facilities. They copped a battering over the weekend, so he might be at Roosters training, then quick back up to the Icebergs because they're pretty damaged, mate. So we're without our captain, but we push on.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, just quietly, jokes aside, the young fellow was receiving his TAB Form Guide graduation, a Masters in TAB Form Guide from UTS today. So congratulations, Louis. Up you go. Dino, mate, wow. I tell you what, pretty big week for you. We gave you a bit of a Gus Gould spray, asked some punters to come in and say, look, Dino's down the dumps. He's been going like a bastard. Lift a little bit. What can we give? And, mate, you've delivered. Wow.
Yeah, finally. It's taken a long while, a long run of outs, but the Gus Gould little pep talks, it's done its wonders. What a day's racing it was, and it was nice to capitalise on a couple of bets, and it was good betting all round. Yourself chimed in, Fireburn. We both backed Nature Strip. We had a little race day conversation, myself and you, up on Twitter, punters. So check that out. Me and Gannon will try to do that most Saturdays mornings. We'll go through the feature races and our thoughts. So steer the punters into Semillon in the first. Gannon, you were very keen. Louis tipped us into the Bendigo Guineas winner in Gun Deck, and we lobbed a couple of midweek races. So I think job done all round, which is...
I'll tell you what, though, Dino, that's enough trumpeting from us. We've finally done well at one of about 35 shows. So here we go. We're going to get straight into the day 2 championships. And then when we round out the show, we will get with a horse to follow from YouTube as well, Dino. We are live on Twitter as well as recording for YouTube. All right, Dino, so the first race we're going to cover on day 2 of the championships will be the Percy Sykes punters. Just be aware there's about 120 mils of rain forecast, so we'll be on a bottomless track if that does come. But, Dino, we'll go straight to the Percy Sykes, mate. Paris Dior, $3 favourite. We'll just leave it at that. Plenty of other runners to follow. What are your opinions on that race?
Yeah, there's a little bit to break down. Obviously, you mentioned Paris Dior, who's been very well backed. Trial's been good, has form around St Jarden, but she's way too short for mine. I'm very keen to bet into this race. There's 2 fillies that we can back at big prices to knock the favourite off. The first is Willinga Beast from the Chris Lee stable, comes out of Canterbury maiden. It was a super win, sat back and went bang off some good trials. The time was super. The best last 8, last 6, last 4, and last 2 of the entire meeting. Ran 2 lengths faster than any other maiden on that day. And she lapped up the wet. That was the biggest thing. That was going to be the heaviest track that any of these fillies have seen, probably outside of Ojai. So I love her here. So around that $17 mark. She's a fantastic bet. She'll start half that price. An interesting runner for the Snowdens, an ex-WA horse called She's a Belter. Comes to the Snowden stable now, had 1 trial and worked with Paris Dior between races. If you get a chance, punters, I might retweet that tonight. She does it much better than Paris Dior on that wet track with that little mid trial between races. So I think them 2 fillies, She's a Belt around 11 and Willinga Beast around 17s. We can back both those, Gannon, for a big result. I'm very keen to play.
Outstanding, mate. And just quietly for stick around punters, because later we're going to close with midweek best bets and Willinga Beast. That form line will produce my best bet. And Dino did obviously copy me as he usually does. But he managed to find something else. Is that true, Dino? Or am I giving you bumps to you there?
No, that's
spot on. Righto, here we go. We really should get Gary Harley on, but look, I'll give Gary's tips here. Market order, Never Talk, great news, Rustic Steel. Never Talk, $4.50, great news, 6. Rustic Steel, 6. Kissum, 7 for the Provincial Midway.
Yeah, good race this. I think we've talked off air. I think it's a 2-horse race for mine. Top 2 in the market, Never Talk and Rustic Steel. Rustic Steel is the pick for mine. Probably has a little bit more tactical speed and considered a lot handier than Never Talk. We know Never Talk eats mud, but I think Rustic Steel can handle it fine. Can map a little bit closer. It was a good thing beat on Newcastle last Monday. I think the stable sort of knew what they were doing there. If it was to win that, it was going to carry a little bit more weight in the final. So ran a super race back towards the inside, inferior ground. Now goes to the grand final, 1,400 metres. As long as it's not proper bottomless, which it has been. I think it's the winner at around $6. So I'm very keen to play Rustic Steel there. Gannon, thoughts?
I completely agree. I think you understated the run of Rustic Steel last start. If they wanted to win, it would have won, whilst being respectful of the rules of racing, of course. Never Talk by Michael Phelps from Palace Talk. Fair dinkum. Wow. Swimmer, the wetter the better. And look, just back them both for a profit. Coming in the house of the two play, you might be nicknaming two play Charlie the way I'm going. I'm really starting to hone in on these two plays. But anyway, that's enough about me. Let's move on to the big one, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Wow. I tell you what, no confirmation on Duais. Gee, not sure. $5. Very elegant. I potted it, and now the rain's going to come, so I'm going to mud on my face there. $3.50. Zaki, $4. Animo, $4.50. Duais, $5. Montefilia, $8. The market must be 400% here. I'm Thunderstruck, 15. Think It Over, 18. Wow. Geez, need to get the hairdryer for that. Mr. Brightside, 34, and Cascadian, 34. And poor old Hungry Heart nominated again. Oh, jeez. Good horse. Just can't get a dry track. Dino, first of all, give us a couple of ideas in regards to Very Elegant. Gone or ready to fire?
I think you can maybe draw a line with Nature Strip. The Wallace stable obviously getting these horses to fire on grand final day. She did it last prep too, we saw. She had that couple of flat runs. I think the Cox Plate was the flat run or the disappointing run, and then come out and absolutely bolted in the Melbourne Cup. So she can mix it. The big ticks up to 2,000 metres. She's obviously going to get better further, but she's going to get every single favour in the world. I just pray if you're on her, she doesn't draw inside barriers. She likes to be out free rolling and not cluttered up on the ground, and probably the sit and sprint last time out didn't suit her at all either. She's a big rangy filly who likes a true tempo this stage of her life. So she's going to get that. It's going to be a bigger field, tempo on. If she draws out, she's mighty hard to beat. For mine, I love that Duais is going to go here, and you can sort of see why. 3,200 metres, Sydney Cup, yes, 51 kilos, but with the tracks, this could dead set ruin a horse. You probably would never see her come back anywhere near as good as she is if she sort of goes over that trip. So I can see why they go on the 2,000 metres. It makes sense now. She should have beat Very Elegant in the Chipping Norton, no doubt. And then she went to Melbourne in a fastly run Australian Cup and bolted in, then back to Sydney, back to Newcastle, and dead set towed them up. She's the most informed horse in this race for mine. I know Adamo has 3-year-old form, but for mine, I think Duais is going absolutely outstanding. She's going to lap the wet track up again. Like I said, they're going to be a lot more tempo here, and around that $5.50, $6 price. I think she should be dead set second favourite for this easily. Zaki, wet track, I think that's the knock. Animo, no knock there, but I think Duais should definitely be second favourite in this to mine or shorter. So I'm keen to play her. I haven't jumped on the Lewis Willoughby Duais ship yet, but I will for grand final day in Queen Elizabeth. So a little bit of a summary. What are your thoughts on Very Elegant now? I know a lot has changed since you've potted her, but typical you change your mind when they're looking like winning.
He's on. Throw him under the bus. Sorry, boys. No, look, I'm happy to steer clear, but much more nervous than what I was. Wouldn't shock, and certainly won't be laying. I tell you what, though, this talk about Lewis Willoughby being on the Duais bandwagon, mate, I fair dinkum tipped in the Australia Cup. Unbelievable. Louis jumped on after. Anyway, love you, Louis. Love your work. He has chimed in, though, the young fella. Send us a text across. He's listening live. Zaki, Duais, they're his two best for the race. There you go, punters. So put a line through those. Righto, we move to the Queen of the Turf. Cracking race. Just quietly, though, I'm not alone here, Dino. The Queen Elizabeth Stakes, mate, it's like choosing who your favourite child is. Like, what a race, and so many good horses.
It is. It's very hard for the punter, I guess. You sort of got to separate your betting assessment and just the joy and the love of racing. It's very hard to not bet into it. And if you ask any punter, as strict as you are and disciplined as you are, you're going to have a bet on the race. So it's fascinating. It's the grand final for so many horses. Would have loved to see a little bit of international flavour in there with a Dave or something like that, but I think it's a mouthwatering clash and privileged to watch these great horses go around, but can't wait.
I might just chuck a 50 cents evens. just to watch them go around. Right, back to the Queen of the Turf race that I'm so keen to play now. Collet 450, Ice Bar 6, Yonce 6, Fangirl 9, Forbidden Love, really? 11, Lighthouse 11, Inspirational Girl. Got some decent form lines, Inspirational Girl, $13. Dino?
I've got no real opinion here, except I don't think Forbidden Love gets a true 1,600 metres fastly run race. So if it's a sit and sprint, little 10 horse field, she can definitely get it. But after the Doncaster, that's definitely confirmed for mine. So no real opinion. I'll throw back to you. What do you got for us?
I'd imagine she'll be carrying much more weight this time around as well. Mate, there's only one horse I want to back on the quick backup. Come on, who is it?
Ice Bath.
Oh, does its best work off a 7-day backup. And we all know it's a mutter. So for mine, Ice Bath will be my all-in play of
Who
the
rides
week.
Gannon? Do you know?
Kieran?
Okay.
I got no idea.
Interesting.
I got no idea. I don't care. It wins. Righto. Before we go, though, Louis, Yonsei, and Steinem. Steinem's 15-1, Yonsei 6. Old 2-bet Charlie there. He's had 2 plays. We're going to move to the Sydney Cup over 3,200 metres. For Duais throughout the 350 now. Some poor punters. I saw Salty chimed in. He got 26. Small boy. Bill for you there, mate. I was stupid enough to have something on around $6, not much, but enough to make me feel a bit ill. Crystal Pegasus, $5. Punters Duais, doubtful. So you put a pen through it. Crystal Pegasus, $5. Lunacy, $6. God, I don't know. I didn't win the other day to make up too much ground. Stockman, $6. Great form behind Duais. Pork Stream 9, Surefire 9, No Compromise 11, Shiraz 11, and the Chosen one that sort of was not far behind Stockman and Duais as well. You don't have a firm opinion on this one, Dino, or you like something?
Nah, no firm opinion on a wet track, that is. If it was a dry track, I'd be all over Luncey's. We'll mention a little bit later horses to follow, but Luncey's recorded the best last 8, last 6, and last 4 figures of the entire meeting there on Saturday. He's with his wheels spinning. So dry track, I think he absolutely bolts in this, but we're not going to get that. So
do you reckon wheels spinning or just too far back?
I think his wheels, when he goes to do his turn of foot or when he goes to take off, I just think it takes him a stride or two to build up and momentum. By the time he does that, he's just, the race is gone. But I agree, he needs to be ridden a bit closer, which you've seen he can do. So I think it's a mix of both, but I think it's a tragedy for the stable that it's not a dry track because that horse is flying. But no real opinion. I'll throw to you. What are we backing?
The old Waterhouse bot combination, TC on board, Knight's Order. Very, very good founder. Was it Verve? Not Verve, not bloody something about champagne. Notice it's not lining up here, which I have no understanding as to why. Obviously wasn't nominated. But for mine, well, it was a fair gap back to Luncey's, and we'll go forward, rock hard fit. Just at the $15. If we're talking about all-in plays, at the $15 by $4 a place, that for mine is an all-in play. And if the field does happen to drop off come Saturday, and there's all of a sudden a much smaller field, leading in a small field will be a massive advantage. So there we go, punters. Knight's Order, $15, $4.50 the place. Will be a ripping bet. We move to the Australian Oaks. Tell you what, here we go. Gypsy Goddess, $4. Hinged, $5. Pink Ivory, $5. Honey Creeper, $6. Any opinions, mate?
None here going to race.
Young Louise chimed in again, yearning, $18. Must have won something down at in Melbourne at some stage. I'll tell you what, he did push his into Mr. Brightside, though. We've got to give young fella up. He did extremely well there. Yeah. So that was pretty impressive stuff. I never heard of the horse, but anyway. Cracking song. Gypsy Goddess, then I will ask you this. Gypsy Goddess, hinged. I think I was on the record of saying that hinged, if we reverse the runs, would have beaten Fangirl. Let's say that I'm right. Been wrong before, but let's say I'm right there. Gypsy Goddess was pretty impressive for mum as a run of the race, but there was a good gap back to them. Talk me through it, mate. Is Hinged a better wet tracker than Gypsy Goddess? Do we know? It's pretty inconclusive. What's your gut feel there?
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I found it hard to find Gypsy Goddess that short. I know she was good in the race behind Hinge, but they absolutely gapped them. I know it was at 18.50 and you're up to 2,400. I think that's the query for Hinge. If she gets the trip, and we saw that egg on our face with Character, who bolted in 1850. Then he just didn't get the trip. So it could be a false sense of security there, but I think Supreme Wet Track is Hinge, and she's a lot more adaptable, can go forward. So there's just too many question marks for mine. So I've just dribbled and gone in circles for you, but hopefully.
Outstanding. Well, I think my suggestion will be a small play on Hinged. I think it'll be backed. I think Gypsy Goddess will drift. And if we can back Hinged now, back Gypsy Goddess later, I think we're going to come out on top. So another 2-bet play there. Righto, mate, we're going to move to the Sapphire Stakes, a race that I have absolutely no opinion of, but you do. Bellucci Babe, $4. Emanate, $5. Bella Nipotina, $6. Graceful Girl, $6. Wonderbar, $8. Minha, $9. Tell me it's not Minha.
No, it's not Minha. She'll scratch and wait for a dry track, because she can jump on the Hungry Heart plane, and we've Quantico as well. Ship him out to somewhere in the desert where it's a dry track. I'm going to follow the wet form, and that's the good form at the moment. And there's no point backing these dry trackers because it's going to be wet for a while. Bellucci Babe, I know it's favourite here, but she is absolutely flying this prep. She was brilliant in the Galaxy, flashed home, and then she went to the Group 1 TJ Smith. Watch her running that race. That is a proper run for a mare. She drops back to her own sex here. 1,200 metres sticks to that. Wet track, adaptable, up on pace. I know you like this horse too, Gannon, so I'll be backing her. I'm not sure about the price. I think we probably get $4 come race day, but I just wanted to point her out. I think she's a cracking bet.
I just wanted to throw one at you. I don't know. This is probably more in my wheelhouse, and you may not have picked this up, but Never Talk, our old mate, Michael Phelps by Palace Talk, ran third to Bellucci Babe and made up a stack of ground in the Group 3 Winona Girl. If you're with Bellucci Babe, it's got to increase the chances of Never Talk. And I know you're with it there, but and obviously it's Matt's probably the biggest query for you. But there you go. It's just a bit of a steer in a direction if we're talking form lines there. Righto, Dino. That's a wrap for the all-in plays. Give us your best play though, mate, before we close up there.
I'm going to go with a bang. Best all-in play, Percy Sykes, around that $17 quote, Willinga Beast. I'm going to keep backing until race day. I think she starts a lot shorter and very, very keen there. So that's my best all-in play, Percy Sykes, Willinga Beast. What's yours?
Outstanding. As I stated, Ice Bath will be my best play, but I'm a huge fan of a couple of others. I think Never Talk's a great play. And Lights Order is also a very, very good each-way play. Righto, Dino, ripping edition. Geez, time flies when you're having fun. Mate, anything to add to the punters? Horse to follow?
A couple to follow out of Saturday. Give me 2 secs. Luncey's was definitely one. Like I mentioned, his last 8, last 6, last 4 were the best of the meeting, even though his wheels were spinning. Dry track, anywhere he wins. So Sydney Cup, obviously, if we get back to a 7 or something like that, back him. Cascadian was brilliant in the Doncaster, big weight. He bolted down the outside. Doubt that was the best ground, so I'm going to follow him wherever he goes. And one from the last affiliate got a lot of time for, Comrade Rosa. She recorded the best 6 to the 4. We'll go watch that run. It was treacherous. She had to duck in, duck out, weave. She's a filly on the rise and progressive. So 3 to follow, Gannon. I like them.
Outstanding, mate. All right, as always, punters, thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, give Dino a spray, and join in. We'll be back Saturday morning for a look at day 2 of the championships once final fields are out and let you know all our bets. All the best. Thanks, Dino.
Cheers, mate.